Hello, welcome to this video on Pythagoras' theorem. I'm going to explain to you what Pythagoras' theorem is, how to use it, and then I'm going to prove Pythagoras' theorem. Now, proof is fundamental in mathematics, it's at the heart of it, and so being able to prove one of the most fundamental and important theorems is something that hopefully you'll be quite excited about and something you will stay tuned to see. Okay. So let's try and explain what Pythagoras' theorem is. If you have a triangle, and it's always got to be a triangle, a right angle triangle, so it has to have a right angle, which is 90 degrees. Then, the two short sides, just label A and B, if you add the squares of the short side, a squared plus b squared, you will end up getting the hypotenuse squared. If we label the hypotenuse C, as it's conventionally called, that means that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, that works for all triangles, no matter how big or small they are. Doesn't matter which, as long as it's a right angle here. It doesn't matter which direction they are facing, as long as you can find a right angle, which is 90 degrees, and you label the sides correctly. So the hypotenuse, the biggest side, is C, and then A and B can be whatever side you want. Then we still have that equality, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that is the equation of Pythagoras. Let me give you an example of how to use it. So, given a triangle that you might get at school, in fact, let's make the triangle a slightly different shape, because you are probably quite bored of getting a triangle, not a different shape, sorry, a triangle has to be the same shape, that rotation. You're probably quite bored of seeing it in that way, so let's make it a bit interesting here. Only a tiny bit, mind you, because, I'm only human, I can't make it overly interesting, and don't want you to get too excited about this, otherwise you'll be jumping up and down in the air, and you won't be watching this video. So, I've shown you a triangle, which is rotated slightly, but don't worry, we can find the right angle. It's this one. Not because it is a right angle, because I can't really draw, it's because the others are certainly not right angles. But, yeah. Hopefully your examiner can draw better than I can, and it will be more apparent in the exam. So, first thing we do is label the hypotenuse. It is the longest side, which is always opposite the right angle. So that's this one, C. And the others are just A and B. You can just label it as you want. So now, say in the exam, we are given this triangle, and given one side of it as, 5, and the longest side as being, 10, let's say. What do we do if the examiner asks us to try and find this side? Well, we look at Pythagoras' theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, that means that a squared, let's say a is 5. So a squared, 5 squared will be 25, plus b squared, let's call this one b, equals c squared. C is the longest side, that'll be 10, and so c squared would be 100. So 25 plus b squared equals 100. All we have to do is rearrange that to find b squared equals 100 minus 25 is 75, and that means that b equals square root of 75, which will be plus or minus 8 point something. I don't know, you need a calculator. But we ignore the negative sign, because remember the point of this question, we're trying to find the length of this side. And you can't have negative length. At least no length that I've seen is negative. So we only take the plus root of this, and it will be b equals positive 8 point something. Okay. So now we've done that, we've used Pythagoras' theorem in an example. Let me show you how to derive Pythagoras, and then hopefully that will be the end. You will have mastered Pythagoras, well, almost mastered it. In mathematics, you need to do some practice questions, but you can use all of the concepts and ideas in this video to solve any Pythagoras equation you will get. So, let's try and derive it. So if you give me a triangle, say I've not ever heard of Pythagoras. In fact, pretend I am Pythagoras trying to come up with this formula myself. And you give me a triangle, and say the sides are A, B and C. And you tell me to find the relationship between A, B and C. Now, I'm going to try and find this relationship. Let me try and find it. First of all, let's label this side, this angle as being theta, and then this angle must necessarily be 90 minus theta, because the right angle is 90. We've really labelled this side as theta, 90 plus theta, and a right angle triangle, well, any triangle must add up to 180 degrees in terms of its angles, so that means that this angle must be 90 minus theta. So, once we've done that, how can I find out a relationship between A, B and C? I genuinely have no idea at this moment, speaking as Pythagoras. So, I'm just going to try and do something crazy, something random. I'm going to try and just draw a line here, might as well. Maybe just draw another triangle, see what happens. In fact, draw the same triangle, but have it rotated. So this triangle will be rotated to look like this one. Don't really know, but I just have a feeling that this might help. So that would mean that is that. This will be 90 minus theta. This will be theta. Obviously, if this is theta, this is 90 minus theta, and this is a straight line, then this must be 90 degrees. I've no idea what I'm doing, but let's carry on. That actually looks like it, I don't know, like something is happening. I have no idea what, but let's do it again. Let's rotate. So, B, A, I'm just doing exactly the same thing. I can do what I want in maths, really, as long as I don't break any rules. And I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not adding one thing to one side of an equation, adding a different thing to another side, for example. I'm just drawing stuff on a piece of paper, no breaking any rules. And in fact, let me do it again. B, A, C, this will be theta. This will be 90 minus theta. I'm not breaking any rules. Like I would be breaking a rule if I said this was 80 minus theta, because the rule of a triangle must add up to 180 must stand. And if this was 80 minus theta, then the sum of this triangle would be 80 minus theta plus 90 would be 170, not 180. So I'll be breaking the rule. But this doesn't break any rules. And we've got a nice square in the middle with side C. And we've got a big square. Can you see that big square? I've got an idea for an equation. Let me try and work out the area of that big square. Well, it's obvious. A plus B is the sides, and it's a square, so it's A plus B squared. Done. That was easy for area of the square. Equals area of square. Wait a minute. The area of the square also equals, I can do it a different way. I can find the area of this little square, that will be c squared, plus the area of these 4 triangles. Each triangle is going to have area half base times height, half BA or AB. But remember, there are 4 triangles, so times it by 4. Oh, I've got an equation. A plus B squared equals C squared plus 4AB over 2. Well, 4AB over 2 is the same as 2, because 4 divided by 2 is 2. Oh, I've got an equation. What am I going to do here? Let me try and open out this bracket. So, that will be A squared plus 2AB plus B squared, which will equal C squared plus 2AB. Oh, I've got 2AB on both sides. I can minus 2AB and they cancel out. Oh, look, I have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's Pythagoras' theorem. We've just derived it. So, that is a method of deriving the Pythagoras equation. In fact, I think there are over 100 different ways of deriving it. Can you come up with another way of deriving it? And if you can, please tell us in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope this has allowed you to understand the concepts behind Pythagoras' theorem, and it will allow you to use it and answer any questions that you have. But remember, practice makes perfect, and that is the only way that you'll be able to perfect these skills. I thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you again.